Good afternoon, everyone. Sorry we're getting started a little bit late. Clerk, if you can, call the roll.
Senator Albritton, Senator Cornley, Senator Coleman, Senator Gudger, Senator Hatcher, Senator Hovey, Senator Kelly, Senator Coleman Madison, Senator Chambliss, Senator Elliott.
Here, in accordance with the authority vested to me by the rules of the Senate, we have a quorum. And Senator Orr, you're up first.
This is a bill we've seen before, not in this committee, but it's the open records bill. It passed the Senate last year, got all the way through the House committee, and did not make it to the House floor. Basically, what we're trying to do in this bill is set some timelines for responses by the appropriate governing bodies. And then you find if there's a frivolous request, can be ignored more or less. If I ask for just reams and reams of data or things that are overly broad or frivolous or unreasonable, then the entity can refuse. There will be a meeting after this meeting if this committee will let the bill give it a favorable report. We do have some few changes that need to be made. Such as last year's version had the word citizen. You had to be a citizen to get to make a request. Somehow in the scrivening, it didn't get in there. So there's some things like that we've got to attend to.
I have a motion by Senator Chambliss, a second by Senator Cornley. Are there any other questions of the sponsor? Clerk, call the roll.
Senator Albritton, Senator Cornley, Senator Coleman, Senator Gudger, Senator Hatcher, Senator Hovey, Senator Kelly, Senator Coleman Madison, Senator Chambliss, Senator Elliott.
Aye. Bill receives favorable report. Thank you, Senator Orr.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman and members.
Okay, next up we have Senate Bill 291 by Senator Wagner. Senator Gudger, you recognize?
I think there's an amendment on this bill. I wanted to go. It's in front of you, I believe, or on your book.
The amendment's on the left-hand side, members.
Yes.
Senator Gudger moves adoption of the amendment. Chair seconds. No, go ahead and discuss the amendment real quick.
No, I'm good. Just what you just go with it. Not at all.
Are we waiting
Ryan Parker, I don't think that Jabbo know that this was right now. I think that he was Senator Wagner. I think that I just talked to him.
Okay, so members, yep. So here's what we're gonna do. Hold on, clerk, come back. Jen, come back. What we're gonna do is this. We're gonna carry this over if we can bring it back up at the end of the meeting, or I have a special announcement for y'all at the end of the meeting, which is we're going to have another one of these tomorrow.
Oh, thank you so much.
So if we do not get Senator Wagner, we will come back and do it tomorrow.
Perfect.
Okay. Yeah, we're gonna carry it over just for now, and if the rules chairman comes back in, we will stop immediately and take up his piece of legislation. Yep. Okay, next up is Senate Bill 292. It is by me. It deals with the Licensing Board for General Contractors. Essentially, this takes the requirement for licensure from work costing contracting for $50,000 up to $100,000. So it's raising the threshold to require licensure. I have a motion by Senator Kelly and a second by Senator Gudger.
Question.
Trying to not make the occupational licensing burden on folks any harder than it needs to be. Senator Chambliss.
Is that the same amount that you don't have to solicit sealed bids for? Does it?
That is a good question. Trace says
yes. I think it is.
Yep, I'm getting a nod.
Okay, that makes some sense and gives some clarity.
Okay. Questions? Any other questions? Using previous roll. Senator Hovey, you want to be added to the roll? Okay. Bill receives a favorable report. Senator Cornley, you have Senate Bill 303.
I do. Thank you, Chairman, for allowing me to get this on the calendar and be presented. I do have an amendment. She went to go make copies. I thought there was a copy in the book, but I will explain what the amendment does first. What it does is on the last page of the bill, page 2, it changes lines 33 and 34, and it makes the effective date immediately upon signature of the governor. If this were to make it there, preface the bill, what it does is basically postures the state to say that any of the World Health Organization, any of their rules or regulations wouldn't be pushed down to the state level. There is a pandemic treaty that's going on right now that is supposed to meet on May the 27th and vote. It could have some pretty far-reaching impact, and what this does is it just says, as the state of Alabama, we acknowledge our sovereignty, and as a state, we're going to take this right to say that we're not going to be forced any of these rules or fees or regulations that may come from them if they so choose to think they have the authority to issue that.
Senator Carnley, how long is your amendment?
It is one page, right there it is.
Never mind. That
It just
question is
changes
now.
the date to say it would be effective immediately.
Okay, stand by 1 second here.
Okay.
Thanks. There's that. You keep that. So I do now, Senator Albritton, and I have a second by Senator Chambliss for adoption of the amendment using previous rule without objection. The amendment is adopted, and we're on the bill. Are there any questions for Senator Carnley about the legislation? I have a motion by Senator Albritton, a second by Senator Gudger, using previous rule without objection. Bill receives a favorable report. Thank you, Senator Carnley.
Thank you, Chairman.
Senator Chambliss, you have Senate Bill 260.
This is a bill that's brought to me. The Alabama Association of Tax Assessors have worked to clarify language in their statute and combine fees. That right now there are 3 different fees. It combines it into a single fee, but does not increase that fee. It just makes it simpler. Dealing with the first purchase, if they don't exercise their right, it can be carried on into the purchase price, and prohibits somebody from having a tax lien from exercising possession of the property and other similar things that the association working together has asked for us to, and all my revenue commissioners are for it. That means I'm for it.
So move.
Are you doing the amendment?
So we
Oh, I moved the amendment first. It's,
Motion.
I have a motion to adopt the amendment by Senator Gudger, a second by Senator Carnley. Using previous rule without objection, the amendment's adopted. Now we're on the bill. Senator Chambliss moves a favorable report on the bill. I have a second by Senator Carnley. Using previous rule without objection, bill receives a favorable report. Thank you, Senator Chambliss.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, members.
Senator Wagner. Good afternoon, sir.
Where have you been?
We were patiently waiting on the Rules Chairman, and
Okay,
we're
thank
glad you're here. You're recognized to present Senate Bill 291.
This is a little non-controversial bill, I think, that requires mandatory training for municipal officials, and there is an amendment.
Senator Gudger.
Make a motion for the amendment. What's the same one we've got? It's in our book.
Okay, I have a motion for adoption of the amendment by Senator Gudger, a second by Senator Chambliss. Is there any discussion on the amendment? Okay, fair enough. Senator Wagner, I like what you're trying to do here. I may want to strengthen it a little bit, but I'll come and talk to you because
Okay.
I think you're headed in the right direction. I know county commissions have what I used to tell Sonny Brassfield was county commissioner brainwashing session we had to go to all these binders and everything. So I think it's a laudable cause to make sure our municipal officials are up to speed on things. But I may want to take it just a little bit further, but I will come speak to you about it.
Okay.
And with that, I will, did we adopt the amendment? We haven't yet. Okay, so we have a motion and a second on adoption of the amendment using previous rule without objection. The amendment is adopted. And I have a motion by Senator Gudger for favorable report and a second by Senator Chambliss. Using previous rule without objection, bill receives a favorable report. Thank you, Mr. Rule
Thank you,
Chairman.
Mr. Thank you.
Yes, it is. Okay. Is Senator Singleton here? He's not. So I'm going to run through this real quick for him. I don't know if you've had a chance, y'all have had a chance to look at this or not. But the bill would, and I'm reading synopsis on page 1, but would provide that the Secretary of the Senate, Clerk of the House, Director of LSA, Chief, the Examiner of the Department of Public Accounts, to purchase items, recognize achievements, purchase meal for staff during training while the legislature is in session. Y'all know sometimes we go real long and real hard, and occasionally we get fed, but they don't always get fed. And so that's the goal here, is to keep that going. So,
There's a little further, if I might.
yeah, please.
Okay, look on page 6 and paragraphs, little c there. If any street adjoining property controlled by the legislature as described in subsection A is closed by the city of Montgomery, the legislature gains control of the entirety of the street, and the legislature shall grant adjacent and surrounding property owners unimpeded access to the property. I'm concerned with this.
Okay.
If we gain control of it, do we gain the liability of it? That's the first aspect of it. And the other is, if they're closing it off, for what reason? For construction or for any reason? I think we need to have a little bit of clarifications along that line, unless there's someone else has a.
Those are fair questions, Senator Albritton. What I'd like to do then is carry this bill over. If you would get with the minority leader and ask those questions of him and maybe some other folks between now and tomorrow, we could put this bill back on the calendar tomorrow.
Yeah, this bill goes a little bit further than just paying for meals, I think, and I think we need to have, this I think is going in anticipation of what's going on across the street here, and we just need to make sure where we are and on some matters on that level.
You are prudent as always, sir.
I would call it differently, but.
Okay. Y'all, that concludes the calendar for today. We're going to go ahead and carry over that last bill. Forgive me for rushing, but the clerk's got to get things reported out because we're still in sunset, and if we don't get it out in time, they don't get on the calendar. We'll meet tomorrow again at 11. We've got about a 7 or 8 bill calendar as of now, but expect additions to that calendar as House bills get assigned to committee today. We're going to try to continue to keep things moving, so I will see you all at 11 tomorrow. Thank you, Senator Albritton, for your committee time. Meeting's adjourned.